Said, listen, all of us, we've been lied to for so long and so frequently and so loudly that we just came to accept it, that it's okay, and we lie ourselves and we say it's all right, it's no problem, it's actually something that's in our tradition. We like to lie, let's lie some more. I knew they would get upset, because Indiana is very conservative, these are very down-to-earth people, very sweet people. They would take it in a good way, and they did. They were like, oh, what's he talking about? If I'd have said it in New York, they'd have probably attacked me or something, you know. But they were going, no, we don't lie, what are you talking about? And they're looking at each other like, lies, you know, because they are very sweet people, kind people. They really wouldn't lie, except what? When you lie about a law, that's the worst lie there is. When you lie about the one that created you, ooh, and he has no partners. And it's in their book. Exodus chapter 20, Deuteronomy chapter 5. That's Old Testament, New Testament, Mark chapter 12, verse 29. All of them saying the same thing. Know, O Israel, the Lord your God is one Lord. He has no partners. Thou shalt not have any other gods beside me. Whoa, this is clear. So how in the world do you turn around and say, well, Jesus is also a God, but he's part of a God. I mean, there's a ghost in there too, but, you know, how does that work? Again, we're not really trying to make a joke out of it, but I'm trying to drive a point home. Now the people were looking at me, they were getting a little bit upset. I said, okay, you're saying to me that nobody ever lied to you when you were growing up about any issue. They said, absolutely not. And then you don't lie to your kids. Of course not. No, of course you don't. This is a good time to mention this one, by the way, that what I see going on all over the world today at this time of the year. I said, so I'm going to ask you a question. You don't lie, you've never lied, your mama didn't lie to you, you don't lie to your kids. So how old were you when you found out there was no Santa Claus? Now they started laughing really hard until they realized what it meant. They were like, ah ha ha ha. Yes. Your mother lied to you, your father lied to you, your grandparents lied to you, your uncles and cousins lied to you, your teachers lied to you, your preachers lied to you. There's no sleigh being pulled by 12 tiny reindeer and another reindeer out front with a red flashlight on his nose. There's no fat guy wearing a red suit coming down your chimney once a year loading up the thing with presents and stuff. And a child is being taught to believe that to the extent that they will actually go out of their way to lie. And when the child says, Daddy, I just saw Santa Claus over in that department store. This one here lost 5 pounds or more. He looks a lot skinnier. I don't know what's going on. Oh, no, that's so. They are actually, this is, you know, Santa is everywhere. They say it. Or they'll say, oh, these are actually Santa's clones. Or these are Santa's helpers helping him. They have every kind of coverage for this. They will never say, son, it's not true. They ain't going to do that. They just keep going on and on and on. And it happened to me when I came home from school one time in December. Come up to my mom. She's washing dishes. Mom, what's the matter? You won't believe what the kids in school were saying today. She said, what were they saying? They said there's no Santa Claus. Don't tell your sisters. What happens to your credibility with these children? And then when they find out, and I remember thinking the next thing they're going to be telling me that there's no bunny running around laying colored eggs. What about that? If you do this, though, to your children, if you lie to them, what's going to happen later when you want to tell them about the miracles of Allah? And this is why a lot of the Christians, as they grow older and start examining things, they dump the whole thing. As they say, throw the baby out with the wash water. They do that Because they say, let's throw out the lies, and then they start thinking, how in the world could a woman have a baby and she doesn't have a husband? That doesn't make any sense. Well, here in New York we got a lot of that going on. What we mean, how can a woman have a baby and no man's ever touched her? That's what it says in the Bible. And so, no, that doesn't make any sense. We just throw that out too. Now when you want to start talking about salvation, who's going to believe it? God had to get on the ground and walk around like a human being, eating, drinking, going to the bathroom, you know, and then he had to get up on a cross. He didn't really want to. He prayed all night long to himself, asking himself not to let it happen. This is what the Bible said. It actually said he prayed to God. Then he's up on a cross, and now he bleeds, and he's going to die, and fine and good. Now all your sins are forgiven. How does that work? And if it really was a salvation to mankind, then how come in the Christian world today they still have the highest crime rate of all the entire world? And they still have the worst problems with sex, rape, incest, murder, robberies, burglaries. It goes on and on and on and on and on. And I'm not criticizing my own country. I'm not trying to criticize the society. What I'm criticizing is the fact that we're not looking at the real solution. And when these people are out here doing these things, yes, it's because they're evil. Yes, it's because they're doing the wrong thing. Absolutely. I'm not trying to give them an excuse. But I'm saying in the beginning, if we would have dealt with the truth with some of them, maybe they wouldn't have wound up like that. For the years that I've spent in counseling in the prisons, I've found it time and again that there was an experience we could go back to, a pivotal point when the child made the decision. As maybe a teenager, I don't know, but they would make this decision to go off in this black or dark way. They would go off in that way rather than to stay with something that was, you know, moral and just and upright. And it always comes back to these things that we can say, oh my God, why didn't we deal with the truth to start?